Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm on my Xbox One to bring you yet another video today. In this particular guide, I want to share with you exactly how to get what is pretty much the God mode augmentation for the game The Ascent. And it just released on the Xbox One only like about a week ago. So you can play The Ascent on Xbox or PC, and it is included with Game Pass. For those of you that have been playing the game, you will know that there's a functionality called augmentations, and they're basically special items that you can equip which give you special abilities. There's quite a few different ones in the game. Some you unlock by finding them, some you unlock from specific missions. Others are, well, a little bit harder and a little bit more hidden to unlock. So currently, there's one specific augmentation that we're going to go for, and a few of my viewers have asked me about this augmentation and exactly where to get it. So like the title of the video says, it is basically God mode. You can technically die, so God mode is not 100% accurate, but that's sort of the name that the community has given to this augmentation, which I do believe the actual augmentation's name is something like overload or overdoing it or something. And it specifically comes from a side mission. The side mission that you're looking for is the one called One More Rep. So I'm going to explain exactly how you get this and then show you how the augmentation works. Because that's been the big thing, is most people think, oh, the augmentation's really cool, but where do I get it? So you need to first get the quest One More Rep. That's a side mission, and that's given to you by this NPC right here, and he's one of the first few NPCs you can talk to here in Cluster 13. He gives you an initial starting side quest that you can do, which I believe is this particular one right here, Anabolic Express. But you have to be like level 10 before you can go to the area to do that side mission. Anyways, once you do that side mission, you will be able to turn it in and pick up the One More Rep side mission. Definitely correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong on the initial mission for that. However, for the One More Rep mission, this requires us to go to Stimtown, and Stimtown is locked off. So the game doesn't tell you what you need to do in order to do that. What you need to actually do is you need to start the mission Trace Protocol. Once you get about 3 or 4 steps into the mission Trace Protocol, you will be forced to go to Stimtown, and you will unlock the ability to access Stimtown. While you're in Stimtown, if you've already picked up the One More Rep quest, you can go ahead and get the package that you need in order to turn in that side quest, or mission, whatever you want to call it, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. And this is the mission that goes ahead and unlocks the augmentation that we want. So quite simply, after you have the item, you can go ahead and go through the dialogue here and then wait for the mission complete screen, which will give you your reward. Alright, so now that we have the mission complete screen done, if we go into our augmentations, you should see the brand new augmentation that was just unlocked. And that augmentation is called Overclock. So I was actually correct on the name of that augmentation. Now, what it says it does is it says it increases energy regeneration, tactical recharge, and reload speed, which all seem relatively straightforward, but it doesn't necessarily seem something that you would really use that much. However, it has a few hidden effects, or I'm not sure necessarily if they're hidden so much as they are maybe a potential glitch or malfunction. It's really hard to say. Apologies there, I had to turn my notifications off. I was being spammed. Anyways, what's going on with this? We're going to equip it, and it does function off of the biometrics boost. So in this particular game, we'll go ahead and select that and then go back over to skills, and depending on your skill points, how you spend them and what armor you use, you can get things that benefit your biometric stamp. Your biometric stamp, like mine, is currently at 10. I believe the max that it can go is 20, and depending on the armor that you use, you can get different bonuses associated with that. The augmentations will perform differently and will perform better the higher your biometrics or associated skill is. So just bear that in mind when you're going to use them. Now, the way that this particular function works with this augmentation is in a very strange manner. So, of course, we have to wait for our energy to come back, and this is going to be a low-level area, but I'm testing the most recent update to see if this still functions with the hidden mechanic that it used to function with. And the hidden mechanic associated with this is the fact that it's actually going to reduce the damage that we take and allow us to even potentially heal out of combat. So while these enemies are relatively low level, you can see that they are actually dealing a considerable amount of damage to me, and we've lost more than half of our health. So I can activate the ability, and you'll notice as long as I don't take damage for like a few seconds, look at how fast my health regenerates. And then I can be hit, and look, they're all attacking me, but look at that damage reduction. They would have already had half my health bar down normally. And then you can, as soon as it ends, basically instantly activate the ability all over again. And as long as you don't get hit for, roughly about 4 seconds, your health will regenerate to full. Now, as far as reload speed, most players put points into reload speed, and most non-heavy weapons reload relatively quickly. So you don't really have to worry too much about that. Now, the energy regeneration rate is a little slow to just constantly keep spamming this ability in a fight. However, the really unique factor about this is that it doesn't actually have the full 20-second cooldown. Or maybe more accurately is it doesn't have the full 20-second cooldown after the use of the ability has ended. So effectively, you gain God mode, or pretty much as close to God mode as you possibly can obtain without actually like hacking the game. It does consume 60 energy, so you have to have a fair amount of energy to do that. But it's just an extremely unique mod that is probably the best augmentation mod, whatever you want to call it, that you could possibly get in the game. Now, regardless of what your second augmentation is, and regardless of exactly how you spec your skill points, more than likely most players are going to put skill points into vital signs, and probably without, shadow of a doubt, some into the body battery so that you just have more health and energy to work with. There might be builds out there that don't do that, but more than likely you're going to do that. Also, the majority of the various pieces of armor that you'll find in the game will boost some sort of stat, whether it be directly boosting your health, or if it's like this one that boosts a frame attribute. So they might boost, the lower frame or cybernetics, or they might boost the motors, or they might boost biometrics. It's a combination between all of those skill points, armor boosts, and things like that that affect how well a augmentation actually works. There's also modules that can be equipped. However, you don't really earn very many of these throughout the game, but you can equip 2 different modules if you wish in order to go ahead and even further increase and modify the abilities. With that being said, guys, I would recommend highly that you get this overload modification or augmentation as soon as you possibly can, because it will make the rest of the game extremely easy. I did not want to make the video a super clickbait video, but due to how this mod functions and the fact that you can even use this mod while firing, you don't have to stop firing your weapon to actually activate that augmentation. I keep saying mod just because it that's what I'm used to calling them in the whole like cyberpunk universe, but technically it is an augmentation, and it is the closest thing that you're gonna get to God mode. So like all of these enemies, again, low level enemies, they're gonna be able to take my health down relatively quickly, or just sitting there meleeing on me, and I activate that ability, and that's probably about a good 40 or 50% damage reduction there. And then if I can avoid taking damage for a few seconds, you'll notice that my health starts to regenerate. And of course, your health regeneration effect, that occurs whether you're in combat or out of combat. So say you get into a really tough fight, you can go ahead and kill the enemies and then activate that ability and you're good to go. Now, to explain it a little bit more than just leaving it at the closest thing to an actual official God mode that you could get in this game, I would have to put it as more of the fact that this ability has two differences. One, it must have hidden mechanics. If it doesn't have hidden mechanics, then it's actually glitched and completely broken. I have not received a response from Neon Giant to determine whether this is in fact working as intended or if it is broken. So with this game, there's a lot of hidden requirements, a lot of hidden information. It's entirely possible that this augmentation is working correctly or working as intended. There's just a hidden factor with the biometrics boost. Who knows exactly? But I think the reason why so many people feel that this augmentation is actually, in fact, broken in terms of not working as intended is due to the fact that it is supposed to have a 20-second cooldown. However, this game, once again, is very bad about not giving you all the information, so we don't, in fact, know if that's 20 seconds from the point of activation or 20 seconds from the ultimate or from the augment ending. Now, with how other augmentations in this game work, it's always from the point that the ability ends. So for instance, deploying these robotic spiders, I'm not going to get them back right away until the ability times out. But you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, my ability cooldown bar is cooling down even though the spiders are deployed. So I like to think that this is actually working as intended with the overload augmentation, and it's just that it's a 20-second cooldown. However, the ability has almost either like a 19 or 20-second uptime, which means that you basically can achieve almost 100% uptime as long as your energy capacity or energy regeneration rate is high enough to yield it. So let's just test that theory real quick. I'm going to activate the ability, and let's see if that is almost 20 seconds. So personally, I think it's working as intended, but I could be wrong, and I will have to wait for Neon Giant to confirm this. Now, I have my stopwatch, and we're going to go ahead and activate the ability immediately now and see if this, in fact, lasts for 20 seconds, because it's kind of hard to tell without using a stopwatch. I'm not going to get in combat or do anything else that would affect it. We're at about 15 seconds, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Alright, so it looks like that ability does, in fact, actually last for 20 seconds. Maybe 19 seconds. It's a little bit hard to tell. But yeah, so personally, I think this ability is actually working as intended, just the fact that there's hidden information about how it actually affects with biometrics. So for instance, if we were to go ahead and add in a few more points to the biometrics category, so whether that be adding a few more points to health, so we actually have more total health, or adding a few more points to energy, which is also something that affects the biometrics meter. However, this will give us more total energy capacity, meaning we'll be able to spam the ability easier. And that gives me a 15, 16. Let's put that up to almost max, which should be, there we go. I'll take 19 in my biometrics, which is only 1 point off of, I think, what max is, but I could be wrong. Max is either 20 or 40. It might actually be 40, so we'll just pretend that this is on the half side for now. I haven't actually tested that attribute out yet. And let's find, let's see exactly how much damage we can take real quick. I know this is more than just a guide on how to get the augmentation, but I was honestly tired of receiving messages saying, oh, why do you not have this, or how do I get it? Because I've seen a number of other videos after I went looking, and they all just say what the augmentation is. They don't really specify in detail how one goes about earning the augmentation, or how exactly the augmentation works. So let's get a few more enemies. There's some melee enemies and shooter enemies of a higher level right here. And you'll notice they're taking down my health bar even faster than those low-level guys. So let's go ahead and activate the ability. And in fact, I take even less damage. That's cool. It also looks like my health regen speed is faster now. It might not be that much faster, but it does look like my health regen speed is even faster than what it was before when I didn't have as many points in the biometric category. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, I believe sums up why this augmentation appears to be broken. However, personally, I think it's working exactly as intended, since it scales off of the biometrics upgrade or attribute, and I just think the devs either didn't put in the extra information for the damage resistance and healing, or potentially it's bugged. Unfortunately, we may never know the exact answer to that question, but I certainly hope that you did enjoy the video and it answered all questions as to how to obtain this augmentation, which virtually gives you God mode. Assuming you don't take damage for 4 seconds, you basically can't be killed short of having one high-powered shot that could take out all of your health through the damage resistance, through your armor, in one single hit. So, not clickbait, but I think this is about as accurate a chance to getting God mode in any game without actually having a console command that gives complete immunity to all sources of damage. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, help me out a ton by smashing that like button and sharing the video with your friends. That'll greatly help me out with the searchability of videos here on YouTube. And of course, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay frosty.